Hi, hello. Welcome to Crossing Tommy. Today's video is going to be very different. We're going to do a few things that we've not normally done here before. First and foremost, you're going to pretend that I don't look slightly like a hot mess because I actually am just getting over being sick. And I will get into why I'm using my essential downtime from being sick to still film videos in just a minute. But another thing that we're going to do today, that we haven't really done a lot on this channel, not like formally, is we're going to react to some videos and some things that I have seen on the internet in my downtime while I've been sick. So, as always, we're going to keep the discussion gentle and casual, but today's emphasis is going to be a little bit more on like me as a, just Christian mom out here in the world, responding to what I see on social media and what kind of world potentially our kids are being faced with and are going to have to go into as adults, and that I care about that. And I'm also kind of responding from the perspective of a Christian who very much so just values truth, like actual rational truth, and the ability to hold different ideas respectfully. And so that's a lot of what I'm about. So if any of that sounds cool to you, I'd love to have you, whether you're a Christian or not. This is not a Christian echo channel, echo chamber channel. I never wanted it to be that, and it never will be that. So all ideas are welcome. Let's just treat everyone with the dignity that they deserve and speak in truth and love. Also, on that note, please understand going into this video that I speak from a place of reality and truth, and anything I say is not intended to be unkind, but it is rather for my own mental health and sanity to be able to speak what is accurate instead of have to play mind games to, make somebody else more comfortable. So if that offends you, I'm very sorry. That's not my intent, but you've heard my heart from my words, from my mouth, from my tone, from my tired eyeballs. So today we have coffee, and Jesus, and we are going to fake it till we make it a little bit. And I may or may not share some scripture today. I'm not really prepared to share some scripture, so it may just truly be more of like a discussion. Hopefully you feel a little bit like we're just hanging out, went to go get coffee, and we're kind of mutually talking about a thing. Of course, the only thing that's missing from this discussion is your thoughts and comments, so definitely please put them below. Would love to hear from you. Final note, I'm going to be possibly editing down the volume on a couple of like trigger words, if you will, just in the event that it's impacting the reach of my channel. That may or may not be necessary, but it's a decision, that I'm making as of right now. So I don't mean any disrespect to anyone or any topic that gets the volume turned down on it. It's not deliberate, but like there are just certain things that you kind of can't talk about right now, and I don't really like that. So I'm going to keep talking about them, but I might turn the volume down. Okay, that was a lot. That was like a big intro. If you are still here, like give yourself a gold star in the comments and I will give you a gold star as well. I'm going to take a second and drink some coffee and catch my breath because sick. Okay, so like I said, today we're just going to kind of get into it. Let me preface this by saying there was definitely a few times while I was unwell and just kind of, in my moments of like, okay, I can't sleep, but I don't really want to like turn on the television, watch a movie. I don't have the energy to read a book, so I'm just like, I'm scrolling, and like that's not going to help you feel better. But when you can't move, what are you going to do? And there were several times where my face was literally like, I'm sorry, what? Just in actual sincere shock, not mockery, of course, because I'm not about that. That is a pretty low move, and I'm just not here for that. I don't ever like it when somebody dehumanizes another person, but there's totally nothing wrong with me going, wait, I don't understand. And and actually, I think I do completely understand, and I very much so disagree, and I want to talk about it. So that's what today's specific video is about. I may film another one today. We shall see how we do at the end of this, but this is already getting rambly. So we are going to talk about a creator that you may know, you may not know. If you do know, you probably have opinions about him. The channel name is Lillytino. And this is a man who is presenting himself as a woman, calling himself a trans girl. His page says that he is a trans girl on a mission. And I actually don't really want to platform this guy because when it comes right down to it, he really embodies that kind of like entitled person that you feel like you can't have a rational discussion with. And what I mean by that is a lot of his content is built around kind of like putting up a camera and tricking and trapping people into like misgendering him or like setting them up to fail. And I just think not only is that super disingenuous, but it's just provoking. It's like trying to provoke people to being upset or provoking people to anger. And it's a no-win situation. Like it really just makes like the trans movement look bad. It makes them look entitled. It's not a positive thing. It doesn't teach anybody. Like if your mission, Lillytino, is to educate people on how to properly gender someone. Although I will say that it's actually rude to use someone's pronouns like while you're talking to them, unless they're saying ma'am or sir, which I know you're always trying to get them to do. It's funny that I'm talking to you like you'll ever watch this video. I could care less if you do, but and it's not that I don't care about you, Lillytino, or whatever your name is, but it's actually more that I'm pretty sure that you're too proud to like ever kind of go and actually listen to someone's like real calm critique of your actions. And I understand that, right? Like when you get down a certain rabbit hole of your behavior, like you have to keep telling yourself that what you're doing is like good and right. Otherwise, you get into this place of having to deal with the fact that some of the things you're doing are not good and right. And so I do pray humility for all people, of course, because it's important for our growth as a human to like assess our behavior and to be willing to move forward and to admit, hey, I was doing this thing and it was wrong and I don't like it. And so I'm going to stop doing it because that's not the kind of like, whatever energy I want to put out into the world. With that sigh, we need a little bit more coffee, people. A little more coffee. That coffee needs ice. Not gonna lie. Okay, all of that is to say, why now? Why am I choosing to respond to Lillytino's content now? Because when it comes right down to it, like, okay, let me summarize his content like this. Because I don't actually like this joke. I have heard it. And I think that there's a little bit, I just think it's mean-spirited, okay? It's truthful, but mean-spirited. And so I'm going to preface this joke by saying this, okay? But the joke is, if you tell a trans woman no, then you will quickly see the male come out. And it's accurate. I'm sorry, but it's very true. I mean, guys, send me videos if I'm wrong, but the only I'm a mom, okay? I'm just going to call it what it is. The only temper tantrums I have seen from the trans community about being misgendered have been from the trans women. And so I think that there's a negative truth there. As in all comedy and satire, there's this pause. You have an opportunity for this pause to like assess yourself and ask yourself, am I acting from this place of entitlement? And I think that is a really good way of summarizing Lillytino's content. And also his content is just gross. He's intentionally gross and in a way that I find incredibly misogynistic. He has no respect for actual women. He over-sexualizes everything, literally everything. It's very obvious that his take is that everything is some sort of sexual fantasy, and it is not healthy. I'm shocked actually at the number of views that he has on his videos. It, I think, is depravity. And I don't even mean about like the fact that he's trans or that he's a gay man or whatever he actually is. Like, if a heterosexual male was doing this kind of behavior, I would say the exact same stuff, because this is gross man behavior and it should be called that. And I view gross man behavior as falling under the category of misogyny when it is gross man behavior that fetishizes, which is not a word, but I said it anyways, what it is to be a woman or to have a woman's autonomy. So, okay, why now? Why now? Because he decided that it would be funny or clever or both. I'm not sure, of course. Now I'm getting into the realm of speaking for somebody else. To dress up like the YouTube creator Miss Rachel, who runs a YouTube and TikTok and whatever for like early childhood development and toddler kind of shows and stuff. And so clearly that target audience is children and moms that are cool with that, or parents that are cool with that. I don't mean just moms. And so obviously I've covered it on this channel a little bit, but Miss Rachel recently, you know, came out in her support for Pride and like Pride families, and, you know, just had this moment where she like got a lot of like backlash, and people were rightly saying, hey, I don't appreciate that you're trying to teach this to my kids. Like, it's not really your place. Like, I'm here for like the word development and fun stuff that you're doing. Although, side note, I don't really think that the parents who are like, oh my goodness, what, really have any place to say that, unfortunately, because it didn't take very much looking to realize that actually this is stuff that Miss Rachel has regularly supported on her channel and advocated for, and like one of her regular people who come to help, like, is in the transgender community. And so anyways, it's not like it's new to the channel, right? It's not like it's not like the channel has been completely devoid of these kinds of things and like every, you know, parent is just shocked. So there was some undue criticism that came in her general direction for that. I did not approach her in that specific way, but I digress. If you want to go check out my video, you're more than welcome to. Would love to hear your thoughts. Even if you disagree with me, just keep it respectful, because I love having discussions with you guys. But I feel like we can't communicate when, like, you know, we're not being respectful and giving each other dignity. Okay. So Lillytino, and I don't actually even know if that's his name, but that's what his like channel is called. So that's what he's getting called today. He put out this video where he dressed up like Miss Rachel and was really like, I don't think he was aiming for kids, but we're going to watch it and react to it together. And I'll kind of explain some of my thoughts afterwards. So let's do that now, okay?
Hi friends! Today we're going to talk about something super important, what it means to be transgender. It's a big word, but I promise that it's easy to understand. Ready to learn? The first thing I want you to do is close your eyes. Now think, do you feel like a boy, a girl, or a little bit of both? Do you have your answer? Great. Now I want you to imagine that everyone keeps telling you that you're something else, even though in your heart you know who you are. Wouldn't that make you sad inside? People who feel like this are transgender.
By the way, I'm not going to stop it. I'm just going to play the whole
thing. It's super easy to be friends with someone who is. Let's take our imaginary friend Theo, for example. One day you notice that Theo starts wearing girl clothes instead of boy clothes, and then they tell you that they want to be called Luna instead of Theo. This is so exciting for our friend Luna because they finally get to be their true self. And if you accidentally call Luna by their old name, make sure to say a big sorry and that you'll do better next time. As you can see, transgender people are just like you and me. They're our friends.
Okay, so that was the video. So obviously there are some, I take some issue with this, right? Like, first of all, I just want to put this entirely in the category of it could be a big, huge joke. It just could be. He could be just trend surfing, right? And just want to capitalize on, hey, I could acquire these clothing items and make a parody. So if that's what he's doing, okay. I don't like it. I think it's in poor taste, but he's well within his rights to do so. The thing is, first of all, tiny children should not be on TikTok. I hope they aren't, but my mom sense tells me that they probably are. So in the event that this comes across like this to a young child, that would be really unfortunate. Second of all, it's not only in like poor taste in that sense, but like he's saying the quiet part out loud. Okay. He wants to be affirmed and comforted in his own discomfort by getting children to see this as normal. Like it makes him feel better when more and more people call this what he's doing normal. I think that's why he picks fights. I think that's why he pushes and pushes and pushes and says that like he has a mission. Like his mission is just to feel comfortable in his own body and his own decision to do what it is he's doing. The other part that really makes me sad and like I won't say scares me, but just kind of breaks my heart a little bit actually is that there probably are some overly empathetic parents that see this as like somehow a good thing or something that should be shared with their young, impressionable children. And the reality is that there is actually just so much damage that is done by this like distortion of reality. It really upsets our ability to make strong foundations about and have ourselves rooted in like truth and what's real and what is objectively observably true. And it falls under this category of like people keep trying to say to me, and I get that they're just not informed. Okay, so I don't hold it against them. But people keep trying to say to me, like, that's not happening. No one is trying to indoctrinate children. We're leaving your children alone. We're not coming for your children. Like, we just want to live normal lives. And the unfortunate part is, I firmly believe that for a lot of people that are identifying in this way or another, like, that is true, right? Not unlike me as a Christian parent, like I'm not out here like scheming about how I can go like get all my neighbors' kids and like make them come to Jesus, right? Like I've literally never thought about that a day in my single solitary life, right? I just want to love people in my community. I just want to love and be sincere and be real. And that is so much different than constantly shoving these things in their face and saying like more. That's the difference of like Christianity and this particular ideology. There's a difference between like this is how I live versus like ideology. And I think this kind of behavior from Lillytino comes out of ideology. It comes out of this idea of like everyone has to think like this or I'm not okay. And as a Christian, like I will be a Christian whether or not anybody else affirms it. And I think that is a healthier response. So another thing that's true, and I don't want you guys to like get misconstrued, is yes, these things are happening. These things are being taught to your little ones. These things are being presented by people with an agenda. Don't hear me wrong. All education is a form of indoctrination. And that's not a bad thing. We were made to be taught. We were made to be led by example. And so I just take a lot of issue with people like at all thinking that they have any autonomy or access to young children to feed them ideas that are well beyond what those children should be thinking about. Like no child under the age of like 16 should be thinking about their sexuality. And even 16, I think, is very young. So I just think that we need to bring back the conversation where we let little children be little children and let them just enjoy the wonder of growing up without having to think about all of these things. It's damaging for our children. It's not good. And in a slight moment of like defense of Miss Rachel, like, unless you asked her permission, this does not land well. This seems like woman face. And I'm not trying to say that to be unkind, but I mean like He is absolutely, completely dressed up as her. There's no jokes about it. He's not trying to be anything else. He even titled this Miss Lily's Trans 101 for Parents. So obviously, there you go again. Like, he's not coming for kids in this, right? But the comments didn't really appreciate this either. Sadly, this video has like 4 million views, but there are a lot of moms in the comments. Okay, I'm going to pick some not as mean ones that say, please no, Miss Rachel, no. I don't know if that girl thought that this was Miss Rachel or was like, don't do that to Miss Rachel. But anyways, another mom said, what is happening? Can't Miss Rachel sue for this? I don't know, but that is a great question. And I mean, I wouldn't appreciate that if I were Miss Rachel and like had built this whole reputation of trying to like be a certain way for the kids. And like, you know, she may agree with some of these things, but I think she does still have a little bit of a line. I don't know. I could be wrong. But the fact that she hasn't done this herself kind of tells you everything you need to know. This is twisted was another comment. Okay, here's some just outright rude ones. So anyways, okay, I can't. There's too many rude ones. I'm not gonna read them. That's a line, that's a bridge too far for me. But furthermore, let's just like reel it back for a second. Like, Lillytino has decided that he gets to tell you what to think. He gets to tell you how you're allowed to respond. He gets to tell you what you're allowed to say and not say, and especially when it comes to women. And if that is not misogynistic, male controlling, I don't know what is. So I think that is a whole conversation that we should be allowed to have. Although I'm probably going to get in trouble for this video. I'm not trying to, right? I'm just trying to be a mom out here in the world that's like, I don't know. Can't we just say that the emperor is not wearing any clothes? Why can't we just say that? Can we just have a return to a little bit of decent conversation? That's really all I'm asking for. So again, Lillytino, if you meant this as a joke, it didn't really land well. I don't really think you care because I'm pretty sure with your content that you've made it very obvious that you just care about yourself. And you know what, that's your own prerogative. You know, you have to interact with yourself, you have to live with yourself, you have to, you know, reconcile all of that at the end of the day. I certainly hope that you do have a moment of humility where you kind of reassess yourself and ask if this is really the path you want to go down, if this is really how you want to be known. Also, you know, I care about you. It seems like you really have had a journey of struggle and you have like a lot of anger kind of built up in you because a lot of your videos have a very angry tone and that really matters. And, you know, the scripture says that out of the overflow of the heart, the mouth speaks. And so I do care about whatever's going on in your heart. And I truly hope that you, you know, maybe take a moment to like read the Gospels and get to know Jesus. I'm not even asking you to go to church, like just sit down with God for yourself and get to know him. He will absolutely reveal himself to you because he loves you. And I know that when I was in a place of doing things that really didn't honor God and didn't serve me well in life and like put me in this bad place around other people too, because my actions were just really bad and selfish and self-seeking, you know, I came out of that because of the reality of Jesus and because of understanding his great love for me, in spite of all the things that I know that I've done. And so my hope and prayer for you is that just like you experienced what you call euphoria after putting on a wig and a dress for the first time, I hope you experienced the euphoria and the beginning of peace as you seek the wisdom of the Lord, if that is something that you choose to do. I don't want bad things in your life, of course, so I'm not over here trying to mock you or wish bad things for you. I truly want you to overcome the anger and the sadness and the hatred that you have going on in your heart and mind and life. So that is my take, if you will, on this Miss Rachel parody from Lillytino and the Lillytino channel in general. Again, I strongly recommend that you do not go watch his content. It's very disturbing as well. It's just like every part of it is very like sexual and gross and accosting, and like that's the point. That's like what he's trying to do. So hopefully I won't be reacting to any more of his videos because I don't really like his content. Kind of gives me the ick. That's a me thing. I get it. Maybe it doesn't give you the ick. If it doesn't, that's okay. I'm not telling you how to think. I'm just sharing my thoughts. Guys, I really appreciate you being here. Let me know in the comments if you liked this different style of video. Yeah, Lord willing, I will see you again in the next one. God loves you, and I do too. And if you're a parent, please be aware of what your kids are doing online. It matters. Even if you're like everyone's cool with whatever you're watching, just be on a page where you at least know what's coming in and you can have discussions about it. Okay, that's my take. Love you. If you enjoyed this content, please consider subscribing. And if you liked this video, you may also like this video. So feel free to check it out, and I will see you in the next one.